still for people who were considered free and European. But if you were enslaved, an indigenous person or an African person, that characteristic of freedom is no longer there. So they went about baptizing indigenous people, converting African people, and they could baptize them, but what this law said is you will be baptized and made Christian, but you will not be free. Does that make sense? So how many of you understand that anti-blackness sits at the heart of white morality? Anti-blackness, say this with me, turn to your neighbor and say, anti-blackness sits at the heart of white morality. And I'm going to go to another, so this is the law that gave white Christians gave to other Christian folk. This is under the English, this is in Virginia, to be able to murder black people with impunity. And here's how it reads. It's called the Casual Killing Act. Turn to your neighbor and say, it's not malicious killing, it's casual killing. And so this law says, whereas the only law in force for the punishment of refractory servants resisting their master, mistress, or overseer cannot be inflicted upon Negroes because black people are too stubborn, they need a stronger degree of force. Because as they are resisting rape, pedophilia, they're resisting their mothers being raped, they're trying to fight for them, as they themselves are resisting good intent. Wow. How many of you know that a black person can never assume good intent of anyone? We have no allies here, and sometimes that even includes people that look like us. Because they've been trained to adhere to a psychological framework, a cultural framework, a value system, a belief system that aligns themselves with whiteness. And so I have to understand and size up very quickly and accurately who in the room is doing their work. Because even black people cater to white comfort and seek validation from white people and other non-black people, and they see a valuelessness when it comes to other black people. So I have to stay away from those blacks. Turn to your neighbor and say, you have to stay away from those blacks.
You have to stay away from those blacks.
And don't get me wrong, I'm very clear because I used to be one of them. And I'm in recovery. And I still probably could be or can be given the circumstance or whatever. But I'm working on myself. And so I'm inviting all of you, as I am too, to be on this journey of recovery from white supremacy. Recovery from anti-blackness. So I'd like for you to turn to your neighbor really briefly and just share. What's your initial reaction to some of the examples that I just shared? I'll give you 30 seconds each at what I was finding out. And it allowed me to understand that there's not one African-American person in this country or Afro-Latino person or person of African descent who has a lineage that dates back to the antebellum period. Or any black person, even that has come since then, whatever result I see, whether they're economically deprived, whether they are on drugs, whether they have been abused or ravaged by the white supremacist system of criminality, it's not their fault. It's not their doing. I have to forgive every black person. And the reason I say that, if you were to join the fellowship, you will see. I'm sharing examples with you, but I have over 20,000 of these legal examples. 20,000. And when you do a chronological trek into the present, it becomes very clear the things that have been happening. Target phenotypically Afro-Indigenous people, African people, and African black people who are here in the colony. How many of you get this? This is very nuanced, and it's important that we racialize always, understanding that racism in America is a color caste system. Turn to your neighbor and say it is a color caste system. This is the Preventing Negro Insurrection Act. How many of you would be angry over the last 50, 60 years, leading up to 1680 if you were black, based on just a few examples I've shared with you? How many of you would be angry? And so black people start to organize, Angolans and others that they're bringing in from the western strip of Africa, And so they implement this Preventing Negro Insurrections Act. And here's what they say. Whereas the frequent meeting of considerable numbers of Negro slaves under pretense of feasts and burials is judged of dangerous consequence. We don't want them eating breakfast, lunch, or dinner. We don't want them attending funerals because they are attempting to organize and resist. How many of you see this? Wow. Okay. Be it enacted by the King's most excellent majesty, by and with the consent of the General Assembly, and it is hereby enacted by the authority aforesaid, that from and after the publication of this law, it shall not be lawful for any Negro or other slave. I'm going to repeat that. For any Negro. Turn to your neighbor and say, we are not just talking about those who were enslaved. We are talking about all Negroes. And so the institutionality, the cultural fabric, the cultural psychology, and the legality of America and all of its institutions are inherently anti-black. This has less to do with slavery and the institution of enslavement than it does anti-blackness. Does that make sense? Yes. And I'm going to break this down just a little bit more. So, we're this gentleman right here, by the name of Marcel Walker. Please. And my other assistant, who just handles my whole life, I call her my second brain, Jayandra Henderson. She's not here, but she's just incredible. I want to give some recognition to Dr. Marcus Campbell and Dr. Pat Savage, who are here. If we can give them a round of applause. Some incredible work with some deep work, and as well as Katie. Katie's here, and where's Kelly? I saw Kelly here too. You both want to stand. Oh, there you go. These two white women took the fellowship. I think Kelly, you took it once, and then you're back again. So she's taking it a second time, and we've just been building community and healing and together, transforming together. So thank you all. This is the South Carolina 1740 Negro, because you strive in your quest for progress to be just like white people. Yeah. And so this extends to you. You've been trained to be psychotic. You've been trained to be delusional. Because how many of you are hearing this history for the first time? So many of these examples, by show of hands. The specifics of it. I want you to stand. How many of you are hearing it for the first time? And I would venture to say everyone in this room is, in terms of the specific examples. I'm sure you can have my presentation. That means you've been living within a delusion. Because you've not known what has gotten you here to this moment. And so you've been living in a delusional state. And so if white people have been trained to be sociopathic and psychopathic where black people are concerned, that is true for you too, because everything that they believe, you believe. Everything that they value in terms of their educational system, language, logic, all of our cultural norms, standards, you brought into that too. So you have to do your own work and start your own journey. Thank you so much for having me.